Welcome to Computer Science igcse, and today we are going to continue with our chapter number 11. And in chapter 11, we are doing a topic of conditional statement, if then else, and we have done case of. Now we are going to start the new topic that is called loops. So let's continue with the loops. Do you know what do you mean by loops?
Okay, sir.
Any idea what are loops? Hello?
So loops are just so yeah, I know. Loops just have to repeat the same code.
Excellent. Basically, loop means iteration. Loop means that we are going to repeat something for a number of time. That's for iteration. So loop is an iteration. So we have three types of loop in our course or syllabus. So loop enables sections of a code to be repeated as required. They can be constructed in different ways. We have three types of loop. Number one, count control loop. That's called for next. Number two, post condition loop. That's called repeat until. And then third is a precondition loop that is called while do and while. So how many types of loops are there?
The three loops.
Yes, can you call the name?
There is for next, repeat until, and while do.
Okay, we called for next as count control loop. Then
Okay, and repeat until
repeat
as
until is
post
called
condition,
post. Yes. And precondition is
and
a.
while do as precondition.
Now the
Okay.
question is, what is the biggest difference between every loop? So first we need to discuss between the repeat until and while do. Repeat until and while do have the same thing. In order to program efficiently, it is important to select the appropriate loop structure to efficiently solve the problem. For example, it is better to use a repeat until loop rather than a while do loop for a validation check. So in your program, if you are facing the validation check, do you know about validation checks?
Validation checks? No, sir, I
Yes.
don't.
Validation check means range check, length check, count check, type check. This topic is called a validation check, in which you have given some conditions and you need to apply the check on it. Range check, length check. You don't know that?
No, no, sir.
Okay, it means that I have to teach you validation check first. Okay. Validation check. Validation check means something that is valid. Something that is valid.
Valid.
So the first one, I'm picking some random checks, okay? So range check. What is range check? Listen to me. Let's suppose you have a range, numbers or percentage, 1 till 100. These are the marks. So the teacher will give you the marks from 1 till 100. This type of check is called range check. Are you
Okay,
getting?
sir.
So
Yes, sir,
range
I'm
check
understanding.
works with a particular range, like 1 till 100. Then type check. Then type
Okay,
check. In a
type
type
check.
check, you are going to look for the type of the data, like name. In a name, what type of data you write? A string.
String.
So
Okay.
the computer is going to check in the name, there is a string data or not. If there is not a string data, it means there is an error. So the validation check checks that thing. Length check. What is length check?
Uh,
Let's
Length
suppose
check is
you write your
probably how
name.
much variable.
You write your name, Kasim. So the computer is going to check the length of the string. What is the length of the string? These are
Length
5
5.
characters.
5.
So the computer is going to check the length. If there is any kind of validation check applied, like while you're solving any online form, there is written like that. 30 characters are entered only, like this. 30 characters only. So there is a validation check called type length check. So the computer is going to count the number of characters, and if the length exceeds with the limit, there's going to be an error. So these types of things are called validation check. So I teach you three: range check, type check, and length check. Did you get it?
Yes, sir, I get it.
Oh, that's great. So what I'm teaching you that, okay, do you understand the concept of the validation check now?
Yes, I do understand what validation check is.
Okay. Now, so we are talking about the loops, and in the loop, we are discussing that the loop is going to be applied according to the validation. It means the data, the valid data should be deal with the right type of a loop. So the statements inside the loop must always be executed at least once. And there is no need for the second input statement. So we have two types of loops here. Can you name them?
Uh, hmm.
Repeat until?
For next and while do.
No, there's no for next. Where did you see? There is repeat until. Look. And then there's a
Okay,
while.
and then while do.
Are you able to see my screen or not?
Yes. I thought you were asking the names of. I did not thought you were
Okay.
talking about the
So in
box.
repeat until, how do we write the construct? Look, repeat, print, enter value. You're going to print, enter value message. You input the value. Look, you input the value. So
Okay.
until the value is lesser than 0 or the value is greater than 10. So they have given you the condition. The value lesser than 0, it means negative, till.
But sir, what type of pseudocode is that? Like, there is no counter, or like you can't increase or decrease the value.
These are some simple snippets. Just make you understand how
Oh, okay.
to write the repeat until. It's incomplete although, but it's only for the concept.
Only
Okay,
for
now
example. Okay.
while do, in a while do, print, enter value. Look, input value, while value is lesser than 0 and the value greater than 10, enter value. This is a message printing on the screen. Then you have to input the value and end value. So we
Do
write the same code. Which code you think is easier or short?
re- repeat until.
Exactly. So that is the reason that we use a different types of loops for the different purpose. Now, let
Okay.
me teach you one more thing in a very effective way. Just give me 1 second. I need to search that thing for you, and then I will tell you. Yes, I got the thing. Okay, great. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, now you see here all the three types, right? And I'm going to show you the difference, the biggest difference between all three types. In a for next loop, we have a set number of iteration. How? You can see here. For counter 1 to 10. What is counter?
Counter is a variable.
Excellent answer. And what are the values in the counter?
1 to 10.
Excellent. So how many times your loop
Okay.
will iterate?
10.
It means you know the number of repetition. So in a
Yes.
for next loop, you know how many times your program will iterate. So what you're printing actually, print static next counter. So look, next means moves on 2. Next
Okay,
means
sir.
moves on 3. How many statics will you produce on the screen?
10.
Why?
because the loop is till 10.
Exactly correct. So this is a for next loop. So in a for next loop, what? A set number of repetition is used. Got it?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, read the repeat until, please.
Counter is assigned to 0.
No, no, no,
Repeat.
no, no. I'm asking the definition of there.
Oh, a repetition where the numbers of repeats is not known and they may never be completed.
Great. So in repeat until, you don't know the number of repetition,
And
but
that is completed at least
your
once.
loop will be completed at once. How? Let's see the example. Look, you assign counter is 0. So this time I'm taking counter here. I'm just writing C. Counter is 0, okay? Repeat. Print is static. So you write static. Look, static. Counter assigns counter plus 1. So 0 plus 1, 1. Static. 1 plus 1, 2. Static. 2 plus 1, 3. Static. Till how much time your loop will iterate? Look, the condition until counter is lesser than 9. So it means that once it reaches to 8, the counter is static, print is static, and it should be lesser than 9. No, it's not lesser,
Okay.
it's greater than 9. So it means that until count is greater than 9. So once it reaches to 10, after 8 it's 9, and then it's 10. Yes, it will stop because we have given the condition counter greater than 9. So once it reaches to 10, our counter will be stopped. So right here, you did not give any specific iteration, you just given condition. And that condition will be completed because after 9, there must be a next number called 10. And when it reaches to 10 here, see, our loop will be terminated.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what you have to do? Leave this loops, leave this loops. First, you need to write down validation checks, right? What I want that you need to, I teach you 3, but there are 2 left. So you need to search on the internet, what are the other 2 validation checks? And I think I told you range check, type check, length check. And then there is one more. Just a second, I'm telling you. Yes, 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 I got it. Length check, range check, type check, presence check, format check, and check digit. What is presence check? Like if you are filling an online form, you miss the field. So the computer check that Mr. Kasim have left a field. That is a presence check. So you have to fill the
Okay.
form completely. Is it happened with you? That
Uh,
filling an online form and mistakenly you skip something?
yes, yes, yes.
So presence check is there. Format check. Format check checks that what type of a data you're writing. Like date, MMDDYY. So if somebody is writing a wrong format, the MMDDYY, the format check will check that thing. And check digit, a barcode, a check digit, ISBN. This is called a check digit. Got it?
Okay, yes, sir.
I don't think so.
I did. Don't worry.
Okay, do one thing, Kasim.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
write down the validation check, right? These 3,
Okay.
and then you have to let me know. I will move you to the
Wait, sir. Validation check, but you didn't write anything. It's just blank, and then you write range check.
range check is right here. Look, 1 till 100.
Yeah, but what do I write for validation check? Like a proper like form?
Acha, you
Because you
want a
don't have.
proper definition? Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Sure, sure. Just give me a second. I'm giving you.
Okay.
So I give you both validation and verification. These are the 2 important things right there.
Okay, sir.
Now you got a proper definition, okay? Okay, I'm giving you one more thing. Look, I have given you the names as well. So what do you have to do? You need to You need to just find an example of the average check and write it down. Okay, this is your task right now.
Okay.
Have to make an heading of
What's the
loop,
heading?
and you have to write down the three types of loops. What are the three types? For next,
For next,
repeat
repeat
until,
until,
and
while
while.
do.
After this, you have to write down the for next snippet and the while do. Sorry, repeat until snippet. While do is left. So I need to teach you this. Then you have to write down all together. Now, in a while do, what is a definition? Can you read?
A repetition where the number of repeats is not known and they may never be completed.
Oh, what is the difference between repeat and while do?
Repeat is that it'll be completed at least once.
Excellent answer. Let's do an example. So you see here,
Actually,
counter
I don't understand what that means. I don't understand what while do means.
while do right here.
I don't understand what it means that they may never be completed.
Yes, what happened? Like I said, you have to stand up and
Okay.
remain stand. So you have to remain stand. I have to give you some condition till which time you need to remain stand, or the timings of the bell in your school, that your off time is at 2:30. So the bell will ring and then you are able to off your school, isn't it?
Yes,
So in
sir.
repetition in a while do, you don't know. You don't know. So you have to stop your loop. You have to stop your loop by creating a condition. So the loop stop. Otherwise, it may continue, continue, and continue. Like I'm giving an example. Listen to me very carefully. I need to write an example. Just give me a second. While do. Okay. While first I need to, yes, while counter. Counter equals to 10. So it means how many times the loop will iterate? 10 times, right? Okay. Do one thing, not equals to. You can write lesser than 10. Okay. Input number. Okay. Print counter, comma number. So you're writing both of them.
Okay, sir.
And then counter assigns counter, yes, plus 1. And while.
Okay.
Right here, you see that you have given a condition only, counter lesser than 10. So it means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 10. So lesser than 10 means the condition will be stopped at 9, 8, or 7, or maybe on another number. So it means that in this type of a loop, you don't know how many times the exact iteration will take place, right? And then you need to write just print counter, then counter assigns counter plus 1, and while, right? So now what you
Yes,
have
sir.
to do, you need to write down all three examples. But first you need to write down the description of all three loops. Make an heading of loops, okay? I'm giving you one more while do example. Just give me a second. You just keep writing. I'm sharing it with you. Just give me a second.
Okay, sir.
I'm giving a very good example for the while do. Just give me a second. I hope you will just getting the point. Look, this is an example here. Okay. See here, total is 0. So there is a total variable. I'm writing t. What is the value of t? 0. Print, enter marks. -1 to finish. Yes. Look, you have to give a condition to terminate your loop. So what is the condition you have given? -1. Then you have to
Okay.
the marks. So you're giving a marks. Look, this is a marks m. So you write 45. Now, total assigns total plus 45 means 45 will be added in total right here. Then you give 65. Mark says 65 in paper 2. What will be the total? 110.
Okay.
Then in the third paper, you will get 55 marks. Tell me the answer. 100 and
55 marks. So
no
145, but 65 and 165.
and then you have to write the marks in your other paper. That's 75. So what is the total?
Total would 45 plus 110 plus 160. I don't know that, sir. I need to 155.
240.
Yeah. No, wait.
240. This is the okay. Now the papers are finished. You don't have any paper now, but the loop keeps going. What do you have to do to stop your to terminate your loop? What do you have to do?
We have to,
Press
enter
negative.
-1 to.
Once you press -1, the total will be printed on the screen.
Okay.
Marks
Okay, sir.
-1, and then your loop will be terminated. So this way the loop keeps going, keeps going, keeps going until you have to give a condition to your loop. I hope now it's clear. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now take out your notebook, write down these 3 examples first with their description and what I want these things as well. Look, these things as well. Okay, rough work. Do it now.
Okay.